We've been talking today about moving your scrapbook products off the page into altered projects, and I loved the glass jars that Gazan brought. I thought they were amazing, and they were decorated with that twine and the flower. It was perfect for a wedding. And I also loved Kathy's sugar skull books. So I decided to sort of mush the two ideas together. And if you look at these mason jars, which I have turned into Halloween treat jars, I've used Kathy's skull right on the front and the idea of that layered flower from Kazan. So I want to show you exactly how to do this. It's super easy. The flower is really the part that we're going to talk about in a minute, but let's just talk about the basic wrapping. So I have cut a strip, and you could use an electronic cutter, you could use a traditional cutter, you could use decorative scissors, whatever you want. And I just have a blank mason jar. These are super easy to find. And all I'm going to do is wrap it around. Now to adhere it, I think you need a strong adhesive, which is why I like to use some kind of adhesive dot. Now I find the easiest way to apply these is to wrap my strip around, place the dot down, rub with my finger, and pull it off, and that gets a nice bond going. Then I'm going to wrap the other end around, and I'm not at all worried about how messy or sloppy this looks because I'm gonna put my embellishment right on top of it. Now, the way that I'm gonna do that is, again, I'm going to cut off one of these dots. I just find it easier to handle than the large piece. I'm gonna put it right on the seam, which sort of extra adheres it, almost like a piece of tape or something like that right there. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put this skull shape, that is Kathy's skull shape, and I'm just going to adhere it right here. I simply made it a little bit smaller than she had. Now, I have also cut her very detailed and beautiful sugar skull shape here, but notice on the back, I put some foam adhesive, so it pops up and it creates a really dimensional shadow. And I'm just gonna remove one little piece of the paper backing from the foam adhesive. You, of course, will take the whole thing off just to get the look here. You can see how easily that goes together. I'm gonna line it up, push it down, and then because I get that shadow, I feel like it adds depth to the whole thing. Now, I have taken what was her Day of the Dead, and by eliminating the color and making it that orange, black, and white, I've taken it into Halloween. So never get, fussed up in that it has to be a certain way. Just changing the color of pattern paper makes it so much more flexible. Now let's get to the top of this. This is great by itself, and certainly if you're gonna put a candle in it or something, then you can just take the lid off and it's fine as it is for Halloween. But if you wanna use it as a candy jar, let's build a flower. So what I have done is I have cut the same flower shape, but you could use a variety of them in several different sizes, 4 different sizes, 2 of each. And I've got a particular way of folding the flower petals to really create dimension. So it's not hard to do. All you're gonna do is fold back the petal, and then I have a knitting needle. You could use whatever you had around, a bamboo skewer or something like that, and I'm curling the petal. And easy enough, paper wants to stay wherever you put it. If you've ever wrinkled up a piece of paper, you know that that's true. And I just continue to work around, rolling and folding and folding and rolling, the whole thing. And I am gonna do that to every single one of these. And then I will have a pile of crinkly rolled flowers that's something like this. So then I'm gonna start to build my flower. And I'm going to, again, you could use a tape runner or whatever, but I find that the adhesive dots are a pretty easy way to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna apply an adhesive dot in here, and I would probably put one on each side. For the sake of time, I'm going to skip that. And one thing that's really important now is I don't want to align them exactly with each other. I want to turn it so that the petals go in between each other. And that's part of the reason we have 2. Okay, look at the difference. It's here, that's kind of boring. But if it alternates, it just makes it look like a much fuller flower. And then I would continue to do that with the next size. So I have my next size flower, and I'm not gonna put it exactly lining up. I'm going to change it. And that's part of the reason that I think working with different flower patterns can be cool. You could also mix up the papers. And I would continue to glue and adhere, mixing them up, and I'm just layering this flower. It's getting super dimensional, which is awesome. If you're a really lazy crafter, you could actually just put a staple in the middle of it. And then once I get to the center, here is my tip and trick for you. Keep the little center bits that you've cut out, okay? Flip it over, put it behind so that it's a smooth surface there. Then take a decorative pearl or rhinestone or something like that. It's adhesive backed. Pop it right in the center there, right? You've got that beautiful look. You just simply use an adhesive dot, put it right on the lid of your mason jar, and now you have a fabulous fall flower. And frankly, if you just slip your Halloween mask off, then you've got something that's perfect for Thanksgiving or anything like that. Super easy.